self-care, and it was even about how you feel sometimes your heart is so big you get but it pays the bills. Miss Lex Deveaux, also known as Lexi Lex on Instagram.
Yes.
I know you as Sexy Lexi, but pertaining to your music, the people only know you as
Lex Deveaux. Correct.
How you doing, Miss Ma'am?
I'm doing good.
Okay, you look good.
You look good too, best friend.
All right, so let's get into it. So 2020, despite the circumstances, all that 2020 has to offer, you are on the verge of dropping another musical masterpiece.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I am super excited. I'm nervous, but I'm more so like excited about everything. Like, I get to share my craft with the world. So it's like every time I get to release music and I get to share it with others, it's just like a really great feeling. Like the feeling that I had at my release party last year when I released Free, it was like unexplainable. So I'm super excited.
Okay. Let's talk about what exactly sparked your interest in music. So everybody sees the beautiful Alexis, you get compliments all the time, you're so poised, you look like you got everything put together. What exactly started you on this musical journey?
So, I am originally from Bronx, New York, and when I lived in New York, I was like in my grandmother's basement, and I was playing with my toys. This is a story that my mom told me. I was playing with my toys, and I was singing "Nobody's Supposed to Be Here" by Deborah Cox, and my mom came in and was like all teary-eyed and was like, "Come here." Come in the living room, and she made me sing for all my aunties, but of course I faced the wall, and I was like super nervous, and I sang for them, and when I turned around, everybody in the room was crying. So from there we moved to Florida a few years later when I was 9, and my mom put me in performing arts, elementary, middle, and high school. I graduated from Blake High School, like doing musical theory and chorus and stuff. My mom always made sure that she kept me in different programs, talent shows and stuff. So I thank my mom, because without her, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to sing. She'd always tell me to keep my head up, to not be nervous and stuff. And I still get nervous to this day.
Girl, see, that's the thing. I've been with you before shows, as you talking up, you know, what your set of songs is gonna be, the visions that you want. And you're just so confident, like, and everybody says that about you. Like, being around you, you seem confident. You always seem like you got it figured out. You're so poised, well put together. I find it real hard to believe that you be nervous.
I be scared, y'all. I am a nervous wreck. I sweat under my arms. I get a sweat mustache. I get little BBs on my nose. And then I always feel like within like the first minute of me singing that my voice is shaky. But you tell me that you never hear the shakiness.
I never hear it.
But I am like, I don't think there's ever been a performance, big or small, where I was like, oh, like I'm a nervous wreck every time I go up to sing. Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about Miss Erica, your mama. Shout out to Miss Erica.
Shout out to my mommy.
So, okay, you talked about Miss Erica and how she made sure that you had the tools necessary to become what you are today. Let's talk about artists, like artists that inspire you in your music. What are some artists that do?
So growing up in New York, I listened to a lot of Mary J. Blige. Okay, my mom was like a Mary J. Blige fanatic, Escape. But one artist in particular, who my dad used to listen to when we were riding his Cadillac Escalade, was Erykah Badu. Okay. And the very first song that I remember hearing from her as a child was "What You Gonna Do When It Come For You?" But it pays the bills. Like that, that song there, like as a child, like he used to always play that and blast that. So I love Erykah Badu. I love how free-spirited she is. I love just how like free she is, and I love her voice. I love her music, how relatable it is, and I still listen to it till this day. So
So you talked about musical influences like Erykah Badu. That's intertwined with your dad introducing you to music and everything like that. What about family musical influences?
Definitely my grandfather, Godfrey Deveaux. Rest in peace to him. He just passed this year, June 1st. And my granddad is from Nassau, Bahamas, and he was a musical legend out there. He was a part of a band called the Blue Notes. He was a master drummer, a singer, a songwriter, and he traveled to many different places. He's worked with a lot of different artists, has had like a lot of different accolades and stuff. So my granddad, he would always ask me to sing to him, and then when we would speak on the phone through like WhatsApp and stuff, he'd always ask me, are you keeping up with your singing? Are you still singing? Are you still remaining consistent? And the last time that I actually saw him before he passed was about a year ago. I went to the Bahamas to see him, and he was bedridden with Parkinson's, and he was nonverbal, wasn't speaking anymore. So I laid in the bed with him, and I started singing to him, and guess what, y'all? He started singing back to me. I just started like singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to him, and he started singing back to me, and that just meant like a lot. So I took his death like a little hard, but knowing that I was able to see him and like sing to him and like lay in the bed with him and like make him happy one last time and play my music for him and stuff, that really meant a lot to me. So my granddad, with him being like the musical legend that he was and getting his approval, that just meant like the world to me.
Girl, you saying making him happy one last time? He happy right now too?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. You doing the damn thing, honey.
Thank you.
Now, for people who have not listened to you yet, they're just now getting to know you when they watch this interview, which y'all late to the party. You're late, but welcome.
You're late.
Okay? For anybody who is getting to know you for the very first time, you released Free last year around April, which was a hit. Yes. All right, so people still bump into that. People still tagging you and everything that they listen to. What exactly was the creative process to your EP that you're coming out with now named, I didn't even ask you the name, girl.
This EP is going to be called Evolving. So the process for this, it was like a lot of different vibes. And shout out to my producer, Ryan Copeland. Like he really, he was really awesome, and he was like almost like my diary whenever I would go to the studio. So I would like tell him like my feelings of like everything that I'm going through, and then I pretty much would like write it down as I'm there and do it that way. So I work in a few different ways. I can write a song within 5 minutes, or it could take me like a very long time to write a song, or I'll go through like my music book and I'll find like little bits and pieces of something like that I've put together. So it just all depends like on the vibe and how I'm feeling, honestly, because like I said, I can write a song in 5 minutes. I can hear a beat and write something. I have things that like I wrote like a long time ago that kind of went into the back of my head, like in the dungeon of my thoughts. Sure. So it just all depends on the vibe and the feeling. Okay. And honestly, sometimes I go through moments where I'm having like major brain farts, and I have writer's block. So like I said, it all depends on the vibe and on the moment, and like whatever's going on in the moment. But for this one, for the most part, like I wrote a lot of stuff in the studio, and y'all, shout out to my best friend, because she wrote 2 songs for me. She co-wrote 2 songs for me, and listen, she didn't want me to put the spotlight on her, but she asked me one day, because she come to the studio and she wrote some stuff. So I'm excited for y'all to hear that.
Okay, listen, y'all, I'm just happy she thought of the little people like me to, you know, put something in there, but this is not about me, this is about you. Moving on to the next question. As far as creative process is concerned, do you feel like when you were creating and writing and putting together Free, do you think that it's a lot different than Evolving, or do you think
it's a lot different, because Free was like my first project, and it's just like a lot different. Like I said, working with the producer that I worked with, it was like a different vibe. And plus, I kind of like, this year I kind of went through like a whole different story than what I went through last year with that project. So I wrote about like a lot of relationship stuff, not about like the pretty rosy stuff, but like the ugly side of things that we as women go through in relationships.
We don't relate to that for sure.
So it's not all like, oh, you really make me feel like a woman. No, it's none of that. Like I'm not holding back at all. So that's what they could expect to hear. Like a lot of relationship stuff, you know, the trials and the tribulations of things that we go through and that we deal with. So.
Now hold on now. You saying relationship stuff, but I personally know, because I've been in the studio with you and stuff. You got a little freaky one on there too that the ladies might like. You try to be shy. I know.
You know, I was trying to be a little shy, but Arius actually actually wrote the freaky song now, okay?
No, you didn't have to tell them. You didn't have to tell them that.
I'm indecisive.
Anywho, we got a freaky song on there. We got some relationship stuff on there. But would you say you have a favorite song on your new EP?
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite song is All the Love I Have.
Okay. Why is that one your favorite?
Well, because when I wrote that song, that's when like the peak of like things started to take place.
Yeah.
And I remember being in the studio, and as I was in the booth, I literally was singing and crying as he was like recording that song. Like I was just like so emotional, and you can hear the emotions through the song. So All the Love I Have, I hands down think that that's going to be everybody's favorite.
Okay. So what's next for you as far as developing what you got going now with Evolving? You got photo shoots, visuals, like what's up?
Just taking everything one day at a time. I'm very passionate about singing, and I'm very passionate about my craft. So wherever the Lord takes me, I'm taking everything one step at a time, and I'm all gas, no brakes.
Okay, when we dropping it?
October 23rd.
Pre-sales?
October 13th is when the pre-sales will go up. So
okay.
I am so excited. I am so excited to have everyone listen to it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm excited for everybody to listen to it too. I got a few sneak peeks into it. You got to tell the people where they can find you on social media for all your new fans.
So for everything, you can find me on social media, Lex Deveaux. On Instagram, Lex Deveaux, that's LEXDEVEAUX. On Instagram and Facebook. I don't have Twitter and all that other stuff. I just have Instagram and Facebook, Lex Deveaux. Oh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Lex Deveaux. LEXDEVEAUX.